Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. I'm going to read some poems from Hanshan, that's Cold Mountain Poems, translated and edited by Peter Harris. This is the best book of poetry that I can recall having read in a long while. I've never done very well with English translations of Chinese poems, but this is just hitting my sweet spot. I am loving everything in this book. When I was young, for ancient Chinese wisdom, I relied on a book such as the I Ching, the Richard Wilhelm translation. I would dip into the Tao Te Ching as well, but the I Ching particularly, it's a philosophical tome, and if you are good with philosophy, it's a very good book. But not everybody likes philosophy, and this is, of course, poems, most of them 8 lines in length. And I find that they distill an awful lot of what we consider to be Chinese wisdom. So the editor, Peter Harris, has subdivided the book into various parts. I enjoy that when an editor tries to provide some order to a overflowing corpus. And so this one he has labeled under the title of Growing Old. So I'm going to read 3 poems from that selection, starting with number 135. Behind the beaded curtains in the jade hall, there is a woman of outstanding beauty, finer in appearance than an immortal, with features as enticing as peach or plum. In the homes to the east, spring mists gather. In houses to the west, the autumn wind stirs. 30 years from now, she'll be reduced to the residue left over from sugarcane. Next, I'll read 136. In the city there lives an elegant beauty, her waist adorned with tinkling beads and jades, playing with parrots, framed by the blossoms, plucking at a lute by the light of the moon. For 3 days her long songs resonate. Thousands watch her perform her short dances. But things surely won't be like this forever. Lotus flowers don't last through the cold. I often say you don't need an entire book of poems. You can, 1 or 2 will do as well if they hit you the right way or if your heart receives it the right way. This book really strikes me as comparable to the sonnets of Shakespeare in terms of the feelings that I get from it. I'll skip on to number 141. If people are always meeting their daily needs and begrudging what they have to spend, when they get old, they won't do as they want, and others will gradually push them aside. Once you're consigned to a grave in the wilds, the ambitions of a lifetime come to naught. When the sheep are gone, you stop mending the pen, and lost hopes endure forevermore. So let me see what the subdivisions are to this book entire. The first and possibly the largest subsection revolves around the secluded life. Number 2 is worries, melancholy, and strife. Number 3, lazy and selfish people. Number 4, being rich and being poor. Number 5, Spring Days and Other Diversions. Number 6, Friendship and Love. Number 7, Fools and Wrongdoers. Number 8, Growing Old. And what have I to look forward to? Number 9, The Transience of Life. Number 10, Anecdotes. Number 11, Occasional Reflections on Monkhood. Number 12, More Buddhist Observations. Number 13, Miscellaneous Verses. So there are, and number 14 on Hanshan's poems. So there are 237 poems totally. And as I say, this is really just hitting me very nicely. I've not had good luck finding Chinese poems in English translation, and this really strikes me as well done. As a bonus to this video, I'm going to open up some books which have come in the mail. I think I know what's in these packages. It is quite remarkable sometimes how fast things come. Yep, my goodness. This is My Apprenticeship by Maxim Gorky, a little bent here, but very readable. I recently finished reading A Boy's Own Story by Edmund White, a memoir. Actually, it's told as a novel, but insofar as it was a good book, it was good because it relayed experiences of memory. As a novel, it was not very good. But I thought I really should take up Gorky again, Maxim Gorky. This is the only thing I've read by him, my childhood. It's one of 3, and I realized that I have his 3rd book in the trilogy, My Universities, in a mass market paperback. And I've always wanted to have the trilogy in the same edition. I'm funny that way. So My Apprenticeship is next, and I may consider, I've started a biography of Stephen Runciman, but I may not persist with that. I'll see how it goes. My reading has fallen off with the political situation in the United States. I'm tending to follow the news. Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, gave a somewhat rousing speech today saying that we must all wake up, that Trump is weak, that the fascist powers must be fought against if we are to save our democracy. So I've been paying attention to things like that. So I don't know, and I realized I have some kind of weird eye thing going on, which has, I think, also prevented me from doing some reading. I'll be having that looked at in a couple of weeks, but I don't particularly have any great hopes of any sort of improvement in the situation. But I read this years ago, many years ago. I've never read any of his works, his novels or plays. Chekhov kind of looked down on Gorky, as I recall, so I tend to accept the prejudice of an author who I read and admire. So I always stayed away from Gorky. But actually, I found this quite a delightful book. That is actually a picture. This is Gorky, and this is his father. So I don't know. This does not appear to be any kind of personal photograph. Of course, Gorky made an appearance in Solzhenitsyn's Gulag Archipelago, which I read a couple of years ago, being the public man under the Stalinist regime, and presenting a less appealing figure, certainly, than that of the young man portrayed here. So I don't know. I may continue with that. Now, that was not the only package, and I should say also that for years I had my eye on this and was never able to find a copy at a decent price. And I went to, I think, eBay of all places and found this. So I was really happy. I think it was like $5 with free shipping. So you can't beat that. And for years I've been looking for that book. Oh, I'm opening this other package just so you can see. Sorry, I don't want to deprive my viewership of one of the excitements of BookTube. And it so happened that one vendor had both of these books, and they look decent. The Heart is a Lonely Hunter. I was very unsure at such a low price as this. Another one, I think it was like $5 or less. It looks like a self-pub thing. What the hell? Valde Books? I hope it's, yeah, look at that. I don't know. It pretty gruesome. I was really suspicious about it. Supplier of rare and out of print books. This is, I liked the cover well enough, but I am suspicious of this edition now. Well, that's what happens when you go for a bargain. We will see. Oh my. Well, at any rate, I'll have to think further about that. This is not a book I was intending to read anytime soon, regardless. And then the Devil All the Time. So both of these books I heard on the channel of Carl. He has a channel called Please Read Your Book. And these are 2 of 3 books that he spoke very highly of. I will put a link in the description box to his video. He thinks they're just really important books to have read. At least he found them so. And I thought, I respect his judgment on books, and I might as well take the plunge. I'm not necessarily planning to read either of these soon, but if I keep on with my reading project, then they are certainly ones that I want to have at arm's length. So these are the 3 titles. Can I do that so it makes for a nicer thing? Well, I guess that's as good as I can get. And there's my eyes over it. So that was an added bonus, a BookTube bonus. Thank you for stopping by my channel, and happy Poetry Thursday.